Before leaving the Capitol, we got insight into how this session stands out from reporter Howard Fischer. He's covered the legislature for the last 30 years.
It is particularly unusual this year because you have a situation which is somehow the worst for lawmakers. They have too much money. Now, I know that they would never say that, but we have a record surplus. We have money coming in due to changes in federal tax law. They're going to change the law to allow the state to start taxing internet purchases. And so now the question is, how do you spend it? Now, that has brought everyone out of the woodwork. All the things that we cut for the last decade and a half, the schools, the hospitals, developmentally disabled, highway funding. And now everyone wants their piece. Meanwhile, you have folks saying, well, we need to put more money into the rainy day fund, because so we're preventing a future downturn. We should pay off some of our debt. And that's the problem, is we try to divide up all this money.
$11 billion budget, quite a piggy bank.
Yes.
How significant is it when you are able to save $1 billion in 1 year?
Right now, the rainy day fund is about $470 million. The plan is to put in another 570 over the next 2 years to get us up to $1 billion. Now, billion sounds like a lot of money, but you have to remember that's going to be only about 8 to 9% of the budget. That's not an unreasonable goal to have as a savings account, given that in the last recession, when we were hit particularly hard because of the real estate bubble, we drained that rainy day fund in practically no time at all. But the question becomes for folks, is this the top priority? We have schools that still haven't been paid back the money that was taken from them during the recession. We have child care subsidies that are below what they were before the recession. We have developmentally disabled providers who haven't gotten a raise even though the minimum wage has gone up and what they have to pay their providers. So the question becomes, what should be the top priority?
There may be some political theater playing into this. This is your 8th governor, nearly 30 years covering the Arizona Legislature. What is so different this time around with the climate here at the Capitol?
A lot of it is new leadership. You have people like Karen Fann, who's been in the legislature for 9 years, Rusty Bowers, who's been in and out of the legislature over a course of a couple of decades. But they're still trying to get a feel for what it takes to line people up. I also truthfully think that the leadership didn't do enough early on to line people up, to find out what their priorities were. I think they asked, but in some ways, the budget that was released last Friday was a surprise to many of the lawmakers, many of the Republican lawmakers. And they started looking through and say, well, what about this? What about that? Now, they tried to sprinkle enough, I won't necessarily call them little gifts in there, to help people. There's $20 million for Pinal farmers to drill those wells. There's something like $10 million for studying widening Interstate 10 between Phoenix and Casa Grande. There's money for road widening in Yuma, things like that. But at this point, there's a lot of folks saying, well, what about my priorities?
For the average Arizonan who's sitting at home on the couch watching this, what do they need to know about what is taking place at the Arizona Capitol?
Well, what you need to know depends on what your issues are. For example, is if you're concerned about that new $32 a vehicle registration fee that was going to be in perpetuity, and then the governor said 5-year phase out, now it's a 2-year phase out. If you have children in child care and you're getting a subsidy, that becomes an issue to you. For a lot of people, the issues are sort of esoteric. You don't see it. As long as the DPS is on the road, as long as the potholes for the most part are fixed, as long as somehow state government runs and the sun rises in the east in the morning, I think state government is pretty much invisible to people, much in the same way that what happens in Washington is invisible.
Okay, all right. Howard Fischer, thank you.
You're very welcome.